we are in Week of Torah portion. We're in Portion-Kedoshim, and please subscribe to this channel. Give it a thumbs up, give it a like, give it a comment. Whatever you do, it brings it higher and higher and higher in your rankings. And so, therefore, every single time you go to YouTube, it will be there, and you'll never ever miss a class. Okay. So we're on Portion-Kedoshim. Portion-Kedoshim is, well, he gives the introduction, but it's dealing with what the name means, holiness. Okay? So he says like this: it was God's will to rest his presence among the Jewish people so that it could rise to its calling to be a holy nation of his servants. In order to make this possible, Israel was enjoined to avoid the spiritual contaminations that would result from the sexual and religious practices listed in the previous chapters. This part begins by explaining that the reasons for these prohibitions was to make it possible for the nation to become holy by emulating its creator as much as possible. Furthermore, the purpose of this holiness is for people to become elevated in their lives on this world, and in this way, and the way to do this, as our passage teaches, is by scrupulous adherence to the commandments found in the first tablet of the Ten Commandments. But these commandments demand more than minimal observance, for as one makes his required climb up the ladder of holiness, one must elevate his concept of what the Torah requires. Thus, the Torah teaches here that respect for parents ordains not only that they be honored through personal service, but that it can be done in a respectful manner. The definition of Shabbat observance goes beyond the seventh day of the week and includes the seventh year of sabbatical and fields and loans. Okay, for they too testified that Hashem is the creator and master of the world, of the universe, and we are exhorted by the prohibition exhorted that the prohibition against idolatry includes not only the acts of worship, but anything that shows them credence or respect, even when there should have been some personal advantage in doing so. Okay, that starts the whole thing. So let's go into the actual parsha. So Hashem said to Moshe, saying, "Dabir al kol adap and shall speak to the entire congregation of the children of Israel, v'amart alehem, and you will tell them, Kedoshim to you, you shall be," it's a command, you shall be holy. Why? Ki kadosh ani Hashem lokechem, because I, Hashem, the Lord, your God, is holy. So because God is holy, we have to emulate Hashem, and that's it. Now, what Rashi tells us is v'lamed, because it says Kol Adat B'nai Israel, all the congregation of B'nai Israel. So it teaches us that this parsha was said in the semblance of everybody. They had everybody there. Why? Because the majority of the Torah is dependent upon this issue of being holy. Okay? If you don't understand why we're in this game, why we eat kosher, why we keep Shabbat, why we can only marry certain people, and why we can't marry other people, why we can't be homosexual, why act upon the desire of homosexuality, I'll be very specific, why we can't do that, again, is because you shall be holy. The entire system, what's the matter? What? Okay. That was Hashem saying, I'm right, okay. Aside from above, okay. That is what it means, Kedoshim to you. Now what is Kadesh? I'm separating myself from that. Voluntarily, by the way. In other words, all the things that are in the Torah that are forbidden are not because of health, are not because of anything else, it's because God said separate. Okay? We're not dealing with what is natural, we're not dealing with what's not natural, we're not interested in that question. Okay, the question is, why do I follow these laws? Because Hashem said, Kedoshim tihiyu. That is the answer, by the way, to a lot of questions. When people say, well, what does Judaism hold about homosexuality? What does Judaism hold about rape? Whatever the case is, Kedoshim tihiyu. You shall be holy. In other words, let's not worry about what we can rationalize as it's part of my DNA to do that, as compared to what I need to do in order to serve Hashem. And by the way, while everybody's yelling at today that homosexuality, and everybody's going to yell at me on this one, that homosexuality is a natural desire and I'm implanted with it and I can't fight that, you're going to see sooner or later that the rapist is going to use that same argument. And the child pornographer guy is going to use the same argument. Everybody's going to jump on that same argument. And science sooner or later will back that up, crazily enough, like they back everything else up when it's good for the left or the right, whoever it wants to be. That it becomes a political statement. Okay? What we're saying is you may have these tendencies, as the Mishnah says. If I have a desire for blood, I should become a doctor. It says you're born under Mars, literally. But you should become a doctor, a moel, or a butcher. That way your lust for blood is fulfilled. What we're saying is, yes, there's a natural tendency in the person. No argument. No argument about that. But I have to use it properly. I have to channel it the right way. Whatever that's going to be. And why? Because of Kedoshim Tihiyu. Really, like I said, this becomes the answer that people don't like, but this is the command that Hashem is saying. I know what I did. I know how I made you. But you are not a product of your programming. You can rise above your programming in every situation. That's what we have. Bechir Chavshit. We have free will. No other creation on this entire planet has free will. Only us, humans. And when we realize that we have that ability, and I guess that's our soul. That's our heavenly soul that's put into this body, the hybrid. Okay, as I said to the ladies, with a hybrid source here. And we're the only thing that can go above our programming. Angels can't go above their programming, and a little flea can't go over their programming. The only thing on this planet that can is us. Okay? And that's why Hashem says, Kedoshim Tihiyu. You will be holy. Not you are holy, because holiness is something we have to work on. We have to work at it. It's a constant grind. Every time I have to fight my desires to do whatever I'm going to do. I have to. Now, sometimes it'll be easier, and sometimes it'll be harder. But bottom line is, Kedoshim Tihiyu. You will be. You will be. It's something you have to work on. And why? Because I am holy. Okay? So that's why it says, he had to say that publicly, and the whole Torah is dependent upon this. Then it says, Kedoshim to you. So he says, Rashi explains, you should separate from the forbidden sexual relations, from sin, and he says, furthermore, every time you find a separation from or offense around the forbidden relations, that's where you find Kedusha. That's where you find holiness. And that's why it's going to say a woman who is a wanton woman or a profaned woman, and Kohen cannot marry, and that's because I am Hashem who makes you holy, and you shouldn't profane yours. Again, the Kohen shouldn't profane his seed because I am holy. Fine. That's number one. Then it says, Ish imo va'aviv tira'u. A man should fear his mother and his father. Now, this is something strange. Again, looking at the grammar, it said ish, right? That's an individual. Tira'u is you, plural. So why it should say ish yira, right? It should, a man will fear his father and mother, but it doesn't say, it says a man, her father and his mother, you will fear, you plural. Okay? So who's the you referring to? And you, plural, again, now is you again, will guard the Sabbath. And guarding the Sabbath, again, is your negative command. Unlike Zachor, which is a positive, Tishmoru is a positive. I mean, the negative. I can't do, you shouldn't do, you can't drive, to update this stuff. You can't drive, you can't carry outside without an Eruv, all these things. Okay, that's the negatives. And why? Again, Ani, Hashem Lokechem, I am Hashem, your God. So, Rashi explains, you have a couple of things here. Why does it say, the father and mother you'll fear, then you'll guard my Sabbaths, and I'm Hashem your God. That's the three questions. That's a juxtaposition you have. So he said, Really, Rashi explains. First of all, let's look at the singular to plural. It says, when he said, you shall fear, it's implied two. So if that's the case, who are the two? It refers to the woman. So why did it say the woman? It says because the man is self-sufficient. He doesn't need to rely upon anybody. So Hashem says to him, straight out, you have to honor your father and your mother. When it comes to the woman, since she is supported by her husband, now the husband has a little more rights over her than her parents. In other words, he can say, I won't allow you to go to your parents. And she would be in a quandary at that point because she would have to do that. On the other hand, as long as there's no problem with her going, she has to listen to what the parents say. Now, you would think, okay, great. Now, what happens if my parents say, break the Shabbat? If the parent says, break the Shabbat. So he says, no. Rashi says here, you can't do it. Why? Because all of you, father and mother and child, are obligated to follow me, I God. Okay? So even though your father and your mother may tell you to do something against Jewish law, you're not allowed to listen because all of you are subservient to me. But as long as they don't tell you to do something against what I've ordered, so then you shall listen to them. Then you have to obey them. Okay? Then the other question is, why does it put the mother first here, mother and father, as compared to when it says kibbud av v'em? It's the father is first there, the mother second. Why does it reverse in the honor to the fear?
Oh, okay, yeah. So kibbud av v'em. So that's the honor. You're putting the father first. Hashem is putting the father first. But
why?
Fear them. The mother's coming first.
Right. So why?
Previously learning it.
Good.
The natural tendency is to fear the father.
Correct.
So
natural tendency to fear the father, so you're going to say, fear the mother first.
Right.
Give her top billing. And what's the natural tendency? To honor whom? To honor the mother first. So you say, give the father top billing. Okay, so the father gets, because I have to be commanded to keep it off, but because I normally don't. I always honor my mom. But my father is a little strict, so I'm going to fear him. So no, I have to give equal thing.
In other words, a young child is naturally attached to the mother first as an infant.
Correct.
Right?
Right. Yeah. Yep. Okay. So by the way, Rashi also says, what is the rules of fearing one's father or fearing the parents? You should not sit in his place.
Oh.
Okay. So if the father has a specific chair, okay, his chair, you shouldn't sit there without his permission. That's also, by the way, without his permission. If he allows you to sit there, you can sit there. But again, it's not the place to do it. It would come into a synagogue situation also. Okay. You should not speak in his place. In other words, if your father is speaking, somebody asks a question, and you're there and your father is there, you should shut your mouth. Let your father answer the question. Unless your father again defers to you, you should not speak. And you should never contradict his words. Even if he's wrong, you don't say you're wrong. What you say is, Dad, I learned in the Torah blank, so how do you understand that? And that way the father will come to realize he's wrong. And then he'll say, oh, you know what? Yeah, it's good, and this is what it means. And then he corrects himself, and he looks good. Right. But unlike saying, no, you're wrong. Okay? That's no good. Okay, so those three things, that's showing fear, awe for your father. And what's honor? You have to feed him and you have to give him water. You have to give him the clothes and the shoes, and he should walk in first and you bring him out. So in other words, you're showing tremendous respect to your father with all that. Okay? There's a lot of other laws that Rashi doesn't bring down. It's in the Shulchan Aruch. But it's a very interesting thing of, I don't know how many, when a parent comes into the room, you're supposed to stand up, okay, and until they tell you can be seated, just like a rabbi. And there's, like I said, many other rules that would apply, you would think would be common sense, but once again, we don't deal with common sense. We have law. So, and sometimes you have to also train your kids that when somebody walks in to an elder that they should stand up, which is why in the day schools, they stand up for the Rebbeim when they walk in, and also, well, it depends on which school you go to, also the secular teachers. They would stand up for, because again, they're teaching you something. They're bringing you to the next world by teaching you Torah, by teaching you whatever. So as a result, you stand up for them. Same way the parents are standing up, because they're bringing you, they brought you into this world, and hopefully they're going to educate you so that you can be outside the other side. I can brought you in, I can take you out via Bill Cosby. But the point is that you're teaching them something, so you have to give proper derech eretz to your parents. Okay. Then it says, Al tifnu el ha'alilim v'elohei masecha. So you should not turn to to other gods, to idols, and to gods of molten metal, whatever. Lo ta'asu lechem. You should not make for yourselves. Again, ani Hashem Elokeichem. I am Hashem your God. So Rashi says you should not turn to these gods to make these idols to make them. You shouldn't make them. And then it says. Also the molten gods, Techilatan. So Rashi says, he looks at the verse, he says, wait a second, it says, don't turn to idols. Then it says, gods of molten metal, right? Molten gods, good. So it says, Techilatan Elilimhem. Originally, when it started out, they're idols. The imata ponecharehem. But if you turn after them, Sofchalasotan Elahot. If you turn towards them, you're going to make them into gods. So the verse is already forecasting that if I make these idols, if I buy an idol, even if it's for some nonsensical reason, I'm going to come to use it for what it was originally made, namely as a focal point, as a god, whatever the Mishagas is. You look at, we don't have anything like this I know of in Judaism, but your beads. The Roman Catholics have beads or something. I don't think we have anything like that. That's why it's so foreign to me. Or they have the St. Christopher's, all these saints that they have, all the iconology that they have. Again, we don't have it like that. But they talk to these things, and they sort of expect things to happen. I don't. Now, again, to the side of merit, I'm assuming they're using it as a focal point, and they realize that these are just, a dime a dozen made up in China. But I assume they don't invest any holiness in them. But I don't know. I don't know if that's true. I would hope they don't, because, like I said, it's something foreign to me. But it's.
They're supposed to, but sometimes I think.
Oh, so they're not supposed to, right?
Yeah.
All right.
They're not supposed to, but definitely. My background's on the Protestant side, so
right.
So that's one of the main reasons.
Okay, like I said, but
these places with these churches, like in South America, the wall starts bleeding, or the statue of Yashki starts bleeding, or something. Or somebody said they saw that, whatever.
Right, and that's where it gets.
And then it becomes very holy.
Right, so that's the problem. When it becomes holy, if you can't throw it out, what are you doing? So you made it into something holy. Again, we don't. The closest we come to that would be our Sidorim and stuff, where we have to bury it. But we're not seeing it as something that is
not the object itself. It's what the thoughts only.
Right.
The essence.
So like I said, I don't know. I don't know. We don't have anything like that if I count. I don't know what they're doing with the counting beads. I don't know what they're doing. I guess like Tehillim.
Maybe it's a memory device. I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so I'm not sure.
The rosary, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, rosary.
Yeah, I think they have like a prayer that they'll say for each bead.
Okay. Like I said, we don't have anything like that, so it's strange, but okay. But it's strange from my part.
When you say the Shema in the morning, so we pick up the four corners of the tower.
Oh, but why are we doing that? Because we're saying
to look at them, to remember.
Right, because we're saying tzitzis.
Yeah.
It's a mitzvah from the Torah. It's a mitzvah to look at. Ritemoto. You should see them. Okay.
Interesting.
So and then it says you should not make them. It says lo ta'asu lacherim. You shouldn't make them for others. Lo cherem lachem, and others shouldn't make it for you. Either way. If you say that you should make it for yourselves, but you can make it for others, well, it already says there shouldn't be with you these gods. So that means not you and not others. Fine. So here's something that you would think that we as Jews could. You need an idol. Idols are us. Well, why not? We'll make an idol for you. We'll make a nice parnasa from it. You need it. I'll give it to you. Service industry. And so Torah is telling us no. You're not allowed to do it. You can't make an idol. So here's a classic question, though. Classic question is, can a Jew sell a cross? Yeah, in other words, I have a jewelry store. So now what happens? Can I sell a cross?
Selling in the general public is
right.
The demand.
It's there. There's no whole, I didn't make it, first of all, but even if I would make it, let's say I'm a jeweler, I make it. So who cares? Is that symbolic? Is that cross symbolic of God? I think most people say no. Unless I put a little Yashka on it, a little Jesus on it, maybe. But I don't know what that would be. But again, the real question is, am I allowed to gain benefit from these sort of things? If you have a Christian bookstore, am I allowed to buy from them? Right? I go into a church, I want to buy a candle, because I need a candle, so they have candles, why not? So I say, okay, give me a box for $5, whatever they would charge, $10. Okay. And so now I have candles, right? The question is, what they use those candles for? What were they originally made for? Was it made for idolatry? Wasn't it made for idolatry? Am I allowed to benefit? Let's assume that, by the way, I'm putting the question out there. I'm not giving any answers on purpose, because the other question would be, do we consider Christianity a religion of idolatry? Is it for us? For them, for us? How do I view it? That becomes the other question. Same thing with any religion. Buddhist. I think everybody holds the Buddhists are pagans anyway. So it's they're the ones who Hindu. Hindu. I think they have the cows walking around, they think they're God. So that clearly is.
They bless the food in front of a statue of the Buddha or something.
Okay, but all these questions. So these are questions we have to deal with today. To say we can't make it for ourselves, and we can't make it for you, and nobody can make it for us. So now we have to decide today, 2019, what is considered an idolatrous object, and what do you do with it? Let's say somebody gives it to me. My sister, I remember, got a cross from somebody.
Your sister?
My sister was a friend of hers, and the friend was a Christian, and so they gave her the cross to say, "This will help you, honey." Okay, great. And
did she know what it was? Was it you opened it up and discovered, or he was out and they opened it, gave it to her?
I forget. I forget that part of the story. But if I found it in the house one time, I said, "Why is this covers in the house? What are you doing?" She said, "Oh, my friend gave it to me." I said, "Throw it out. Throw it. You don't have to throw it in front of the person. Throw it out. What do you need it for?" "Well, I throw it out. Are you crazy? You have a cross." Now again, it's not idolatrous. So the question is, can I sell it? Can I put it on eBay? What can I do with it? And if I own a jewelry store, can I derive benefit from it? Those will be the questions. Again, I'm not saying yes or no. I just want to open the discussion actually to say what would be the case and how far, when we start getting stuff from our friends, what do you have to do with it? Can you throw it out? Do you have to throw it into the sea so nobody can get benefit from it? In the case of real idolatry, we would have to literally go down to the
Great Lake.
No, right here, Senjo.
The river.
Throw it in the river, where nobody's going to ever see it. Nobody will get any benefit from it. Throw it in the river and have a good day. Okay? Because there nobody's going to dive either to get it. Unless you want to take a tetanus shot. Okay, so nobody's going to dive. But that's what you basically have to do. You have to throw it away, or you have to dismantle it. So whatever you want to. Again, that's real idolatry. The question is, what's real idolatry today? That would be the question. Okay.
Oh, so yeah, I think we've talked about that in other class. In other words, does the person or a person believe that thing really has powers of a god.
Correct. In other words, if somebody would say that this snowball is a god, am I allowed to use it or not? Well, who cares what you say? You're an idiot. I mean, I can't help you.
That specific
this
one.
This particular thing. But there's actually a Gemara that discusses that. So there is a Gemara that discusses what do you do in that situation. And so, but like I said, there's all these laws that we would have to go through.
Which book was it in? I remember it was Yeshua, where the idol fell over or something. What was it?
That was Shoftim. Dagon, when the ark was brought in, it fell on his face.
The fish god or something?
The fish god, yeah, fell on his face. And that's from the Judges. Those who want to hear the whole story of Judges, just need to go on YouTube, Rabbi Neville, and you can see it. Okay, yes. That's what we call cross branding.
Yeah,
it is. It's in Shmuel.
It's in Shmuel.
Yeah, because Shmuel is when the Philistines took the ark, because it was Pinchas and Pinchas was.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. It's in Shmuel. It's still the book of Samuel. It's still online. So you can still, you know what? Start from Joshua, go to Judges, then go to Samuel. Have a good time. Watch them all. Okay. Yeah, you're right. It's Samuel. Yeah, because that's they would return the ark, right? The way it ended, the way Judges ended. They were everybody's doing what's right in their own eyes. Yeah. Okay. Shkach. Very good. That's why you're here. That's why you're here, Shmuel. That's why you're here. Okay.
For my immaculate memory.
Baruch Hashem. Okay. So he says, so now when you slaughter a peace offering to Hashem, you shall slaughter it to find favor for yourselves. He says to find, okay, good. Find favor for yourself, good. And then it says, this parsha was only said to teach us that you shouldn't give the offering except on condition to eat it in its time. That if you fix a time for eating it afterwards, it's already said that it's already said before that if you make a vow or a promise to bring it, so it can't be that. So there's something you have to do it for your favor. The beginning of its slaughtering, it should be on condition that it should be a pleasing thing to us, for you, for your desire. Because if you now think about it in a matter that it shouldn't be good, so then it's not pleasing for you. So that's that. So we're learning that we have to give it for the right reasons. Okay, that's what it is. Okay, next, on the day that you slaughter it, you shall eat it. And the next day, if you have no charge, Yom Shlishi, but that which remains to the third day, Beish Yisaref, with fire it will be burned. Mind you, you will burn it. That would be Tisrof. But it's Yisaref, it will be burned. It's appeal. So it says, yeah. So Rashi says, "Tizbechu tishachteu almanad zaman shekavati lechem kavar." When you slaughter it, when you offer the sacrifice, you slaughter it on the condition that you're going to bring it on the day that I have fixed. We'll have to stop here. Okay. It's already late.